everyone, it's Emmy Hall at TFL Car. I've got the 2015 Jetta right here behind me, and you know, this is... Roman.
What, Emmy?
No,
what?
Look right behind you.
What?
Look behind you!
An e-Golf?
No, look, the red one, look at the red one!
That's a Golf GTI.
Yeah, come on,
We reviewed it already.
So what? I haven't been in it. Look.
Wait, is that the two-door?
Yes, this is the two-door, so we need to do this one because it's the two-door and it's the GTI.
It's the same as the one we've done before.
And the keys are in it!
All right, Emmy. So instead of a Jetta review, this is going to be...
a GTI review. Yes!
Coming up next on the Fast Lane Car. So somehow, Emmy, this Jetta review turned into a GTI review. How did that happen, huh?
I don't know.
Whose fault is that?
But I don't feel terrible at all.
Alright, so guys, I've already reviewed this car. In fact, check out TFL4K.com, put in 2015 Golf GTI, and you'll get the 4-door review. But Emmy, have you driven this before?
I haven't.
So this is an honest first impression of this vehicle. And the 2-door, because you know the 2-door is very different from the 4-door.
Well, I'm sure it's very, very different. It's got two less doors.
Yeah.
And you know, I've always really liked 2 doors as opposed to 4 doors, just because to me, visually it makes the car look a little bit smaller and a little bit more sporty. Now, under the hood, Volkswagen has given us a 2-liter turbocharged engine, which is good for 210 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. Now, power's going to these front wheels via a 6-speed manual transmission. Yay for the manual!
So I've got the Monroney right here. This is the Golf GTI S.
Yes, and you know what's awesome? Available now.
Yes, you can buy it now. You can go and pick up this 2-door.
Yep. They're going to make sure that I'm not stealing this car. Hi, I'm not stealing it. We'll be back, but it might take me a while.
That's fine. I'm just going to write it down so I know where you are at all times.
Okay, thanks. You guys have it all GPS. Is there a black box in this thing so you'll know? Oh, man. Thank you.
Yep. And we are actually in a very reasonably, and I would say affordable hot hatch. $25,215.
That's not bad.
That's not bad for all this power and torque and redness. It's very red.
It's super red. I love it.
Red.
I love it. And I've always loved the plaid seats in this thing. I just think it's fantastic.
Yeah, that's a Golf tradition that goes back, I think, like 40 years now.
Yeah.
How about the Golf shifter, the golf ball shifter?
The little golf ball shifter. That's nice. It's nice. You know, I do love little detail touches because so often, you know, like how are you going to differentiate your car?
Like that.
Like that. Woo! Now, you guys, I want to say that we are in Virginia, and if you don't know, Virginia is pretty notorious for being
a police state?
Quite stringent in their enforcement of speed. So we're on these little backcountry roads, so we don't want to go too crazy in this car. Unfortunately, I wish we could because it's a gorgeous road. It's really small. There's like nice trees overhanging it, and I really wish that I could really take her out. But unfortunately, it's just not a safe place to do so.
How come with you every car is a her? I think we got some air there, Abby.
I know.
Are there any masculine cars?
Well,
this is a masculine car.
It is a masculine car, but cars are always women. Always. It's like a boat is always a woman.
All right.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Sounds pretty good, but again, they don't let me get my RPMs up above 4,000 when I'm trying to do some kind of a clutch dump. What? Come on, I want to redline this baby and dump the clutch and squeal out and leave a bunch of rubber in my wake.
That's bad for the motor, Emmy.
Oh, well, but it's fun.
All right, so MPG-wise, we're looking at 25 in the city and 34 in the highway, 28 combined, which for a car that puts out over 200 horsepower...
It's really good.
It's pretty darn astounding, isn't it?
Yeah, no, that's really nice. Now, you know, I've just gotten in this, and we're not fully on the twisties yet, but I do have a flat bottom steering wheel, and it's an electromechanical power steering, so it's just a little bit heavier than some of the other Volkswagens. Those all seem to be really, really light to me. This has a little bit more oomph in it, and it seems like my inputs here are pretty quick, which is nice. I'm just a sucker for good steering, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you know, the GTI is iconic for its its road handling.
And there you go.
Accident avoidance. But this is, you know, the quintessential hot hatch.
Yeah.
It's the car that defined and started the segment. It's just a hoot to drive. I mean, there's no other way to put it, right?
It really is. And you know, I'm not one for front wheel drive cars, but this one seems to be like the exception to the rule. Out on the track, and maybe you can answer this, but you know, how much does it push when you're out there? Is it something that is really have typical front wheel drive characteristics, negative characteristics, or does it seem to be pretty neutral?
Well, you know, the new cars all have stability control, and they all have basically torque vectoring. So there's this magic going on in the front differential that all but eliminates torque steer,
right,
and all but eliminates that kind of push feeling. So the car will actually, you know, monitor the inputs that you're putting into it,
right,
figure out which way the steering wheel is, right, and it'll, you know, speed up one wheel, slow down the other. It does all this kind of cool stuff so that pretty much torque steer and that push feeling is all but eliminated.
Yeah. That's good. Now there is another version of this car, a one-up kind of sportier version, the R, which will give you and you do get a true limited slip differential. In this car, you know, they kind of get around that with applying the brake to the inside wheel and and they're able to kind of mimic the idea of a limited slip without actually having a limited slip. And in front of us right now, just so you know, is a Suburban with a license plate that says McMommy, or possibly MC Mommy.
So much for the fun.
Yeah, so much for the fun. Now we're really going to be going under the
seat. Yeah, because that Suburban is not going to be tearing up these.
No, she is not.
No, she's not. Don't run me over, Emmy.
Dun, dun,
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
She really wants to run me over. Emmy, no!
All right, so let's see here.
I think we got a little wheel spin.
A little bit.
Yeah. Hopefully we didn't drop a camera. That's always challenging. So, Emmy, Volkswagen is really trying to push the Golf this year, and this is obviously a Golf GTI. So there's all different variations of this coming. Right now, there's obviously the TDI, the GTI, the TDI, the diesel version. And soon there'll be a sport wagon.
Yes.
The Golf R. So they're making Golf kind of its own brand in America.
Yeah, definitely. Now I've been in the Golf R, which is the all-wheel drive version of the Golf, and you know, it's a little pricey, but I really enjoyed it because it does come with the manual and it comes with the all-wheel drive, which I really like. You know, my preference in drivetrains is rear-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, front-wheel drive. So I really like the Golf R. Not really sure how well it was selling.
It wasn't.
It wasn't?
Yeah, because when you put that car up against the STI, it just doesn't have the horsepower. But the new one they just announced is going to have over 290 horsepower, so that should be fun, But let's talk about this car since we're in it. Now that you're flogging it about just a little bit, what do you think?
Just a little bit. You know, it's really fun. The clutch on this is not too, woo!
It's like a roller coaster driving with you, Emmy.
The clutch isn't too heavy, which is really nice, and it seems to have a nice engagement point, and it feels like this car's really lightweight and really nimble through these turns, but yet still I feel definitely like I'm being held to the road, very much so. Yeah,
and of course the difference between this and the 4-door or 5-door, if you count the hatch, is that back seat room is the same, but it's harder.
It's harder to get in and out of.
Yeah, but it's cooler.
Yeah. Oh no, the 2-door's way cooler. 4-door, I feel like once you get a 4-door, you're like, yep, I'm an adult. You know?
Yep. Time to pay the mortgage.
Exactly. And that's a ridiculous notion to have, But there is something about the two-door to me that just feels much more youthful and spontaneous and just much more fun. It has a more fun aura to it.
You know who buys these cars? 30-year-old boys.
I like
At heart.
Well, 30-year-old. I like 30-year-old men, maybe not 30-year-old boys.
I think you like 30-year-old men that have that little boy inside.
Yeah,
Yes?
that's kind of true. Yeah, you're right. No, you're right.
Yeah. So I think they got a winner on their hands. I just wish they hadn't taken so long to get it over here from Germany. I kind of feel like we're sometimes treated like second-class citizens, right? So it's introduced in Germany,
Right,
and then a year later we finally get it. And then you ask Volkswagen, well, why did it take a year? And they'll be like, oh, we have to mass production, blah, 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 blah. And it just feels like Germany is putting Germany first in that market, European market, and then we get. And I think that's one of the issues that Volkswagen has. You know, there's a whole line of vehicles that you can get in the Volkswagen nameplate in Europe.
Right, and you can't get them here.
You can't
And
get that
people
here.
want them.
People want that. You know, there's the Up, there's the Polo, there's the what the heck's that pickup called?
Oh, the Amarok? Oh my
Amarok,
God, I would
yeah.
love to have an Amarok.
Yeah, this whole line of cars, and here they've kind of just got the middle of
Yeah.
that segment. And
Yeah.
I think if Volkswagen wants to compete with brands like Nissan, which is, let's face it, a very competitive set of cars, right?
Sure.
You have to have cars and trucks to get people in the dealership.
Right.
And when you don't have those, and they have announced they're going to do a cross, kind of a 7-passenger
Right.
SUV
Yeah.
thing, and that's going to be built in Chattanooga. And I think that's a great step because I see that the American SUV
Yeah,
market.
I mean, there's so many people that's all that they want to buy. They won't even look at a smaller car like this, which to me is a shame. But, you know, I understand why people are trying to do that.
As always, this is...
Oh, hi, it's Emmy.
And Roman saying thanks for watching in this TFL unique drive experience. I don't know what we're going to call this yet.
Not really.
It's
a TFL talk.
TFL talk. Yeah,
We're just TFL talking.
It's a Jetta review that turned into a
Yeah.
GTI review that
GTI
turned
review.
into a TFL talk. A hybrid. As always, once again, this is Roman and Emmy saying thanks for watching.
Bye.
You know, I mean, this is a great first date car.
I have a story about that.
You do?
Yeah. So I met this guy, and
Yeah.
he picked me up in his GTI, and I was really excited because he was cute, and he was smart, and he was really funny, and so I was super stoked for our first date. So he picks me up, and he's like wearing this nice suit and everything, and I had this nice dress on. I was super excited. And I sit in the passenger seat of his car, and he's got a GTI, right?
Yeah.
And
Sweet.
right?
Cute and great car.
Great car, smart, funny.
What more could you want?
It was the DSG. And I'm like, oh look, you've got the automatic. And he's like, no, it's not automatic. I can shift it manually. I'm like, well, there's 2 pedals. It's not automatic, right? and I'm like, okay, do not let that color how you feel. Just, you know, have fun. And we did. We had a great time, and he was super awesome, and I really liked him, and we dated for a while. But still, in the back of my mind, the whole time, I was like, but he drives an automatic.
All right, fair enough, but I'm going to tell you right now, Emmy, the guy's smart because the DSG is faster.
Yeah.
Right? To
It
60,
is.
it shifts faster. I think it's more fuel efficient,
Yep.
and it is less engaging. I'll give you that.
It's less engaging, but I mean, if you're going to have an automatic, even, I get it, you guys, I get it, it's a dual clutch transmission, fine. But semantics aside, if you're going to have a car that shifts for you, definitely the DSG is an affordable way to go because, like you said, it's lightning fast and it gets you from 0 to 60 faster. But it is, to me, it's less engaging.
All right, I got to tell you a story too.
Okay.
So when I first met my wife, she pulled up. Actually, when we first made out, she pulled up in a crappy old Escort. Remember those like
Yes!
Escorts that were everywhere?
Yes!
This white crappy Escort, and worst of all, it had this like aftermarket sunroof that's just guaranteed to leak within the first rainstorm. And I was like, and then I sat down, and she pulled up, and she was driving a stick, and I was like, sold!
Yes!
Sold! Forget the car. That girl knows how to drive a stick.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Yeah. So it is funny how we choose our mates based on, you know, things that probably have nothing to do with.
Yeah, that really shouldn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't. You know, it's not like if you drive a stick or not, it makes
Exactly.
you a more or less valuable person.